Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. Another Democrat is switching parties, and this is huge because it now gives this red state a Republican supermajority in their legislatures. We're going to take a look at the latest on this defection. We're going to see the growing list of GOP-dominated states and why the legacy media is literally panicking that red states have started to actually purge their states of Democrats. You're not going to want to miss this. The state of North Carolina continues to turn to the right as yet another Democrat defects to the Republicans. State Representative Tricia Cotham, a Democrat from Charlotte, is announcing a decision to leave the Democrats and join up with the Republicans. Now, the reason why this switch is so epic is because it will officially give North Carolina a Republican supermajority. Back in November, the Republicans won a supermajority in the Senate, but they fell just one seat short in the House. And for the record, they also flipped their Supreme Court back in November. The North Carolina State Supreme Court was notoriously liberal for ages, and now they have a solid Republican supermajority on their court. Unlike Wisconsin, that seems hell-bent on going the way of the woke. That's fine. I mean, you libs in Wisconsin are just going to demographically implode all the sooner. You're going to join Chicago in voting for your woke lunatics and continue your demographic collapse, while red states like North Carolina will continue their population boom. But regardless, what's happening here is huge because this defection is adding to the growing list of Republican supermajorities in our nation. Remember, in many respects, as conservatives flee blue states, as conservatives become what we call leftugees, blue states are getting bluer, but red states are getting redder. The concern, of course, was that as the population started migrating to the South, red states like Texas or purple states like Florida risked turning blue. Remember, Florida voted for Obama twice. But the opposite is what's happening. They're becoming more solid red, and we're seeing just how solid red they're becoming in real time. It's not just North Carolina. Florida, of course, is the poster boy for all this. Back in November, the Republicans slaughtered the Democrats throughout the Sunshine State, amassing a supermajority in both their House and the Senate. In fact, for the very first time since Reconstruction, there's now not a single Democrat holding statewide office in Florida. They're gone. They've been consigned to total and complete oblivious irrelevance. In Montana, Republicans just won a supermajority for the very first time in Montana's legislative history. They've won 70 of 100 House seats and 33 of their 50 Senate seats. Montana's interesting because, again, they flirted with the Democrats over the years. Before 2000, they voted for the Democratic presidential candidate about 30% of the time. Actually, in 2008, Obama came within just 1 point of outright winning Montana. But since then, especially since 2016, Montana's become deep red MAGA country, and they've solidified it with their very first ever Republican supermajority. And then you've got states like West Virginia. Again, these were states that were reliably Democrat for ages. It wasn't that long ago when both their U.S. senators were Democrats, right? Robert Byrd, Jay Rockefeller. Well, those days are long gone. Over the last 8 years, West Virginia has amassed one of the most impressive Republican supermajorities in the nation. The same goes for Kentucky. Again, once a very reliable Democratic state. How's this for dominance? As of last November, Republicans now hold 80 of Kentucky's 100 House seats. The GOP has an 80% supermajority in the Kentucky legislature. We're seeing similar movement in Iowa. Again, between 1992 and 2012, Iowa voted for the Democratic presidential candidate in 6 of those 7 elections. I mean, that's pretty loyal. That's pretty blue. Well, again, them days are over. Iowa is blue no more. Not only did Republicans win a supermajority in their Senate last November, but they finally beat their Democrat attorney general, who had been there for 40 freaking years. Same goes for Ohio, which to their shame voted for Obama twice. They now have Republican supermajorities in both chambers. In fact, gang, as we speak, nearly half the country, 23 states throughout the nation, have what's called a Republican trifecta, which is where the Republicans hold the governorship and majorities in both chambers of their state legislature. By contrast, Democrats only have 14 sad little pathetic states. So at the state level, Republicans are crushing it. They're dominating. So don't worry about what happened yesterday in Wisconsin or the degenerate and imploding city of Chicago. So what does the rise of these Republican supermajorities mean going into a post-presidential indictment era? Well, that's what we're going to find out. It's going to absolutely make your day. But first, gang, the rise of a new conservative age is obviously bad news for the globalist empire, but it's great news for gold. As more and more nations are going back to the gold standard, now is the time for patriots to return to the timeless value of gold and silver for this rising new conservative age. And that is where our good friends over at Goldco come in. Click on that link below and learn the 3 simple steps you can take right now to protect your savings with gold and silver. In fact, Goldco are patriots just like us. They want you to succeed so much, they're offering up to $10,000 in free silver while supply lasts. So don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. In yesterday's video, we talked about what happened on the floor of the Tennessee legislature. The Speaker of the State House actually called it an insurrection. It was a mass protest led by 3 Democrat state representatives who deliberately shut down legislative procedure. Well, because Tennessee, God bless them, has a Republican supermajority, it's just been announced that they're going to officially expel those 3 Democrats from state government. It's a glorious move that I argued should be replicated as much as possible in all supermajority red states in retaliation for what they're doing to President Trump. The moment Democrats realize that their antics are only ending up hurting them and their power, it'll stop. Well, looky here. The national media, the Marxist media is taking notice of what the Tennessee legislature is doing, and they're panicking. They're panicking over Republicans. In the words of Vanity Fair, they're panicking that Republicans are literally purging Democrats from their state. Listen to this. Listen to this. Quote, "Democracy is under assault in Tennessee." Democracy is under assault. This coming from the crowd that deliberately suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop as Russian disinformation during a presidential campaign, that for 3 years told us that Vladimir Putin stole the 2016 election, that pushed for and championed not 1 but 2 fraudulent impeachments, and even now are heralding the indictment of a former president on nothing more than trumped-up charges. This is utter folly. These people are walking contradictions. They're the embodiments of square circles. Sorry. I continue. Democracy is under assault in Tennessee in a stunning move Monday evening. Republican state lawmakers in Nashville, the site of America's latest horrific school shooting, moved to expel 3 Democratic colleagues who led an anti-gun protest on the state House floor last week. Stop. I wonder what this guy would be writing if they led an anti-trans protest. What kind of article do you think he would have written then? Would he have written this dribble? Going on. Republican lawmakers moved to expel 3 Democratic colleagues who led an anti-gun protest on the state House floor last week, claiming that they participated in an insurrection when all they did is lead chants on gun reform now in the chamber. The resolutions, which followed scenes of chaos in the chamber, constitute a virtually unprecedented attack on the constitutional right to free speech. I can't. I'm literally getting nauseous reading this. Champions of cancel culture are whining about free speech. I mean, I can't imagine a more self-unaware article than this crap. And you know what it tells me? It tells me we're over the target here. If the lib media, the feckless liars in the narrative over news media are panicked over this Democrat purge has got to be replicated in every single red state legislature in the nation. It's only when they realize our antics are hurting them more than the Republicans that they'll finally end this insane Republic-killing madness. So kudos to North Carolina and their new Republican supermajority. Onwards and upwards. As always, make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on the liberal media getting absolutely humiliated as the Trump indictment embarrassingly implodes. You're not going to want to miss this. So make sure to click on the link and I'll see you over there. God bless.